So anyway, I'm gonna let her finish introducing herself, and then she's gonna give us tips and tricks to go from there. And anyway, I'm turning over to you. So have at it.
Okay, so thank you for that, Tracy. Josh reached out to me to jump on this monthly call. It's never ever been my forte to do an intro, so I'm going to make this super brief, and then we can get to the stuff that you actually came here for. At least that's what I'd be thinking if I were listening in or watching this right now. I am a former dealer operator of 10 years. I had two dealer operator at two buy here, pay here locations in the Tampa Bay area. So I know this demographic extremely well. I did leave the lot 2 years ago, and I founded my agency, which is Digital Attention. And I began helping dealers across the country with their marketing and lead handling. So we work with dealers that have one mom and pop shop all the way up to dealers that have 7 rooftop locations. So with that being said, I believe today the topic is marketing lead handling. So you can sell more cars and handle your leads right so that you can get a better ROI on your ad dollars. So some of you may be already running ads, whether it's Google, TikTok, Facebook. Some of you might just be a little apprehensive and want to find out more about it. Wherever you're at in this advertising journey, you're going to be able to take some stuff away from this replay, this conference today. So the number one skill set that you've got to master is getting attention. And the question that we get asked all the time is, well, where's the best? How do we reach these people? How do we get more leads? And out of all the platforms that we see, from third party, Google, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of it, Facebook is definitely by far, hands down, the best, most underpriced attention that you can get. So dealers do ask me, well, why social media marketing? If you think about this, and I know I'm jumping through all these things very quickly, but if you think about it, social media marketing is like people are on their phones 24/7. Even at a red light, they can't help but pick up their phone. It's like, I call it like digital fentanyl. They wake up on the phone, they go to sleep on the phone. And so, yeah, exactly, David. So if that's where the people are, then why would we not be there? And if you already are, but you're not seeing results, some of these tips can help you today. So if you think about Google versus Facebook, yeah, absolutely, Google's a great platform, but people go on Google, they do a quick search, they hop off. They're on social media for hours a day. So we got to get in front of those people. There's 2 types of marketing to consider when you talk in the advertising landscape. There's organic and there's paid. Very simple, organic and paid. Organic, we will talk about, which really lends to your business page, the people that are following or liking your business page. Now, those people might not be looking for cars today. However, most of them probably actually are past customers or mom, dad, family, friends. So they're not in-market shoppers. I get that. But those people do have contacts and they will be looking for a car in the future. So it's important to do both things. For example, if you stay what's called top of mind with your followers, you're posting all the time, and we're going to give you some great posts that you can take action on and execute today. But if you stay top of mind and in their face, when they're talking to a relative or they're at the St. Patty's parade or whatever, they might, and they hear somebody overhear somebody saying, oh, I'm looking for a car this weekend, or I'm going to go car shopping this weekend. If they see you all the time, they could recommend or refer you. So at the end of the day, you can make 1,000 arguments for this, but the one way you'll always win is that if major brands are still posting on social media daily, why wouldn't you? If Coca-Cola, Ocean Spray, all of them are posting, do you think they need to post? Do you think everybody's looking for a bottle of Ocean Spray cranberry juice? Of course not. But you got to stay top of mind. So that's organic. You got to keep doing that. Then there's paid. Paid is you're running actual paid advertising to people that are looking for a vehicle on the Facebook platform. Now, there are several different types of campaigns that you can run. The one that performs best, in my opinion, and in the results that I see from the dealers that we work with, are the instant form campaigns. So there's two main types of campaigns you can run. The first one is more of a traditional approach, and what most dealers do, whether in-house or with a third-party marketing company, they run a traffic campaign. So to break that down, it's somebody's scrolling on, say, Facebook, they see your ad pop up, they click it, and they go to the dealer's website. And we're all excited, right? Because we got to click to the website. And that's cool. At the end of the month, you'll end up with a little report that says, oh, you got 3,500 clicks. Well, in my experience as a dealer operator, I don't really know what that did for me. Like, yeah, we all prayed that when they hit the website, they would fill out an app. That would be amazing. Or they'd pick up the phone and call or submit a contact form. But there wasn't anything were they even qualified? Like, I don't know. So I started running the instant form campaigns, and we have dealers that do that today very successfully. And the instant form campaign does this. When somebody's scrolling and sees your ad, they click it, and they never leave Facebook. They're prompted with a very short form. And once they submit the form, you get the answer to these questions. You can pick any question you want. These are the ones that we ask. Are you looking for a car, truck, or SUV? I could really honestly care less what they put there, but I want to confirm that they are looking for a vehicle. The second question is, do you have a valid driver's license or state ID? Now, I've heard that CAC, we never use CAC, but all they basically need is provable income and a pulse, from what I understand. So in that case, you would adjust your question to say something like, do you want to prove your income through bank statements or pay stubs? Something like that. So then the third question needs to read exactly like this to get a great result. Our average down payment is, let's say, $1,500. What is the max you can do? And that to me is the $1 million question. I can't consider leads with $500 down an actual lead. Like, I don't really know anybody today, even with the greatest ability and stability, that can really do anything with somebody that only has $500 down. So if you want to get people that actually have some money and they're not these junk leads, ask the question just like that. Okay, so our average is hypothetically $1,500 down. What's the max you can do? Now, the beauty of these types of lead forms is that instead of just a click for, say, 25 cents, you're getting an actual name, phone number, that's the best part, and you're getting answers to the questions that matter the most. Do not make the mistake of putting in like a whole application under the form. It is only meant to get their info and confirm they're a fit for the program on a kind of like a preliminary basis, like a super, super soft pre-qualify. The deal with the instant form is you have actual data that you can now text them 1 million times, call them 1 million times, instead of just some click. So does that make sense of why that's a better way to run your advertising? Okay, so you nodded yes. Okay, so the other thing to keep in mind when you're running these ads, whether you're running traffic ads, cool, or you're running instant form ads, great, is you got to start selling the financing. Like, I don't understand why we have like such great intentions. We're like, look at this Toyota and check out this SUV, and it's this price and that price. And we like completely forget what we actually sell, which is the financing. And if you start thinking about where the disconnect is, it's either in one of two places, but sometimes both, and that would really, really be awful. But it's typically in one or two places. It's in the marketing or it's in the sales team. It's one of the two. So you can have great marketing, awful lead handling, and then you're shot. Okay, or vice versa. Your marketing is your marketing is terrible, but you've got great salespeople. Well, that's a problem too. So when you guys are thinking about running ads, for example, when I say selling the financing, instead of the ads just showing all the vehicles and all the price tags like everybody else, throw up a graphic that shows a very common vehicle with extremely bright colors and say on the graphic, you work, you ride, or all credit accepted, or we help local residents, like in this case, attention Tampa Bay residents. That would be the ad text. We're the easiest and fastest place to get approved in driving. That's all the ad should be. And then the graphic has got one very common vehicle against a super bright background. And dealers sometimes tell me, and I kind of get it, they don't know yet, but they tell me, oh, well, bright orange isn't in our logo. Well, I'm like, yeah, no duh, it's not in your logo, but it's going to stand out in the scroll. Okay, so sometimes you have to like divorce sort of those colors in your logo, and you have to go with what gets attention. So whether that be bright blue, bright orange, whatever. I see a lot of ads that have so much going on, and people are just scrolling by them. It doesn't even capture attention. So make sure that your ads are extremely overly bold. That way you capture the attention in the scroll. Every single ad that you run should state an average down payment in the ad text at the top above the graphic. So you could say something like, attention Tampa Bay residents, and then put, we're the easiest and fastest place to get approved in driving. And then our average down payment is $1,500, because you want people to know right off the bat that you help local residents, that your average is $1,500, so no false expectations there, and it weeds out a lot of people, trust me. And then you want people to also, you got to keep in mind, like, people have two questions in this demographic. How will I get approved, and how much down to drive? These people don't think of stuff like interest, and they don't even really think of payments most of the time. They come in, they need a car, and they really don't think of anything else except, will I get approved and how much down? So why on earth would why would we be running like ads that show all these vehicles? Most of the time I see dealers will put up like the flashiest, shiniest vehicles. Like, why would your lead vehicle be a Dodge Charger? I mean, come on. Chances are they're not going to get that anyway. So put up something everything that you do should be relatable. It should be relatable, and it should be realistic. So just remember, we are not typically price driven in this space. So sell the financing. There's a great quote. I have no clue who said it. It's something to the effect of like, don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle, or something like that. Or there's another one that says, don't sell the plane ticket, sell the destination. And I think that is so true for any industry, any space. So in our case, it's going to be sell the financing. Sell them on confidence that they'll check you out and they'll probably get approved, and it's most likely going to be affordable. That needs to be one of the separators between you and the guy down the street. Because at the end of the day, you both have cars. Yeah, we'd like to think ours are better than his, but at the end of the day, it's really not going to be a warranty thing. And should it be? Yeah, it should be. It should be about the quality of the vehicle. But for most of the people in this demographic, it's, will I get approved and how much down to drive? So with that in mind, lead with that in your advertising. And you should get a better result. So another thing in your ads, if you want, in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little headline button. Put that you're top rated, or like top rated on Google with a star emoji, because that's going to lend you some credibility. They're seeing you on Facebook and they're like, oh, this place, I could probably get approved there, and they're top rated on Google. Okay, cool. You know, that could only give you an edge. Now, if you have a 2.7 rating, do not put that. They're going to go look at your Google reviews. Just forget that idea. But if you have a decent rating and you've got pretty good reviews, put that in there. And that can help lend some credibility and help you stand out too. So are we clear about the difference between the traffic campaigns and the instant form campaigns? Okay, cool. And you can always message me later and we can go over some free stuff as well. So just don't overcomplicate the instant form. Keep them short and sweet. Now, I want to talk to you about your business page. This is the page where you have likes and followers, and most times dealers, I'll be like, well, are you posting on your business page? And I'm like, yes, we post every day. And I'm like, cool, let's pull it up. And they notoriously do this. And you might be watching this being like, yeah, I guess we probably do that too. On Monday, you post a vehicle. On Tuesday, you post another vehicle. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it just keeps going on. That's not doing anything for you. It's really not. I mean, I'm glad that you're posting something, but nobody really cares, to be honest, to be totally honest with you. Who cares? You've got to start thinking about posting things that are more social and then also kind of putting in some promotional stuff too. For example, definitely post a vehicle now and again. Definitely post the customer images that they just bought a car. That's great. And tell a little story because facts tell, stories sell. So if you're going to post on a Wednesday, hey, Susie just bought a car with us, maybe you should say something to the effect of like, here's Susie, and she went to 2 other places, couldn't get approved. She was in and out here within an hour and a half, and she's off driving. Like, that's more relatable than just, congratulations, we sold another car, or posting the same cars every single day. So another thing that you can post in addition to customers and inventory is post some jokes, post some testimonials, post car tricks, car hacks, car tips. Like there's a good one I've always loved. Take a picture of a box of Bounty dryer sheets sitting on the front seat of the car, and this could be your car hack for Thursday. Post that picture and say, make your car smell amazing by putting some Bounty dryer sheets under your seats. And every time you get in the car, your car's going to smell like fresh laundry. Like, that's actually something that somebody would be interested in seeing every now and again. Or you could do stuff like how to get super clear headlights, or is it a myth or is it a truth that toothpaste works to make your headlights super clear? Oh, this is another one that has historically done well, no matter pretty much across the board. And this one is take your keys for all of your cars and dump them out on your desk, or on the hood of a vehicle. You wouldn't want to scratch it, but in a safe place, and say, who can guess how many keys are on my desk? And you'll have all these people with, I guess, nothing better to do, just typing in, oh, I think there's 74 keys or 23 keys. And you create some engagement and some fun in between posting about your cars and your people. Another one that's done extremely well, you can try this one today too. Sit in the front seat of a car and take your hand and put it over the emblem on the steering wheel and say, who can guess what car I'm sitting in? That one's always done really well to get some comments going. And the algorithm loves that. They're like, oh, Elite Motors is doing something really good over here because they had a lot of engagement. And then when Elite posts tomorrow about you work, you ride, all credit acceptance, tax time is we're the #1 spot in Sykeston to come get a car. The algorithm's going to be like, well, that last post they posted, people seem to like it. We're going to push this one a little bit. So you want to get in the good graces of the algorithm. You want to be consistent, but you don't want to be boring and you don't want to be stale. So
if I could throw one thing in, like
definitely.
I try to take advantage of like kind of pop culture kind of things. I know you saw my post the other day after the Super Bowl where I posted Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
The look everybody has when they buy a car from us. So that stuff's done well too. And you just kind of take something out of pop culture and pop it in there because everybody on Facebook's joking about it anyway. So why not you throw it in there too?
Exactly. So be relatable, be useful, be modern, be trendy. And if you're like, I am not really up to speed on Kendrick Lamar or on all these car hacks, well, there's this website. And you guys, this is a game changer. Go to this website and it'll give you all the answers and ideas. And that website, you can write this down. www.google.com. That's where you're going to find these things, okay? Like, people are we're so strange. All of us are so strange. We're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know when to do it. And we think like that's the exercise. Like, we think we're doing it because we're trying to seek out the info. It's like, come on, just get on Google, come up with some ideas. A great thing to think about when you're looking for ideas and inspiration. For one, you can reach out. I'll give you tons of ideas. But you could go to Google and you could type in car dealership, St. Patrick's Day. Look at some of the graphics other people have done. You can go on facebook.com/ad library and you could type in used cars and it'll show you anybody in the entire country that's running ads for used cars. So if you don't know what to say, if you don't know how to say it, if you don't know a graphic to create, just go to Google, go to the Facebook ad library and start getting some ideas and then take action on those ideas because God, there's so many people that think just the act of trying to get the information is like actually doing it, and they don't execute and they don't take action. But a lot of dealers are very good at taking action. So these are things that you could do, your team could do. Also, when you're thinking of posting, video is so hot. It's been hot. It's going to stay hot for a while. And the number one thing I hear from dealers and their team is, I am not posting. I'm not getting on camera. I'm not doing it. It's like, I know it's invasive. I know it's kind of weird. I mean, look today, Chase, Brandon, Ryan, someone with an iPhone, none of them have their video on. Maybe they're working, but typically your team just finds it way too invasive and they're just too nervous. Okay, so for those people, I say, that's like not an excuse. And what I mean by that is that there's so many other forms of content that have to do with video that you could do. For example, take your phone and go out on the front line and just film slowly, film your front line right across and talk over the video. There you go. You didn't even have to show your face. Okay, another thing you could do is put some music to it. Go into the app called CapCut, the free version, and put your video in there, or tell your team to put the video in there that they just went and made, and then do the audio recording of their voice talking about we're the easiest place to get approved in driving in Pinellas County. Come see us. Put some trendy music, download the video, upload it to all your social media. Boom. They made a video. They didn't have to show their face. Another thing that you could do, and we'll talk about the people that do like video because those people are great, and we'll give them some ideas. But another idea that you could do is you could go out back and you could just take a video of your detailers and say, this is how we get our cars like brand new and off to the front line so that you can drive away proud. Something like that. Like, hey, this is Sergio. I should have probably picked that name. I always do that. This is Scott. He details all the cars and he makes them like new so that when you come in here, you have the absolute best choice of quality used vehicles. People love seeing the behind the scenes stuff. They really do. It's weird. Maybe it's not weird, but anyway, another video they could do is how to change your oil in 60, or how to check your oil levels in 30 seconds, or how to change a flat tire in a minute. Okay, these are little videos that you can make, and when you put them in CapCut, you can speed them up, you can slow them down, you can add music, you can add text. So that's a lot of ideas right there. Another one that I like to do for people that don't want to be on video is, and you got to get some consent from the customer real quick, but when a customer is signing the contract, you could take a little video of them and have them give you a thumbs up and then sign the deal, or electronically sign the deal, whatever. We were still doing paper 2 years ago, but anyway. And then take another video as they're do a high five in front of the car outside. Now the contract is signed, they bought the car. Do a video of a high five and then a video of them driving away. Like, that's not hard. You can clip those 3 little things together, and trust me, the first time you do it, you're going to be like, oh my God, I guess I have to be 22 because this feels impossible. But these apps are kind of made for, if you can post on Facebook or send an email, you can figure it out. It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of time to just get used to it. Especially like some people, their thumbs are so big, so it feels weird, but you get used to it and it goes so much quicker. So hopefully that gives you some ideas that you can take action on as of today. And I think the replay and the summary that Tracy will put out will be really helpful so that you can remember all these different ideas that we talked about. But you guys don't, I know I'm a marketing company, but I'm telling you, I promise you, you do not need marketing companies charging you thousands of dollars to do this stuff. And you guys don't need people telling you that or making you feel like you need a degree from Harvard to understand it. Like, I'm convinced the reason they behave in that manner, and they have great intentions, and there's great companies out there. Obviously, I think ours is the best one. But the point is that you don't need to have a degree to understand this stuff. You guys just need to get some free ideas, some inspiration, and then go use it and be consistent about it. So people ask me, when should I post on social media? Well, I think you should post as much as you possibly can. Generally speaking, I would post 2 times a day if you're able, in the morning and in the afternoon. If you want to get the upper hand, post in the evening as a third time. That way you hit that audience too after work when they're just like getting dinner ready, because most dealerships aren't posting in the evening. So why wouldn't you harness that attention? And if you're like, I don't have enough content to post 3 times a day, fine, then skip one of the other ones and do afternoon and evening, or do morning and evening. Like, just get posting as much as and as frequently as you possibly can, but make it of value. Don't just keep posting your cars every day. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some ideas there. Do you want to talk about lead handling? Like, what happens when these leads start flowing in? Tracy, are you good with that on time? Okay. So
Sorry,
we
I
have
have
dealers.
we're only like a half hour in, so if you got another 20, 30 minutes in you, have at it.
Sure. Okay. So this is a big thing that you can have the greatest marketing, like we talked about briefly, but as these leads start coming in, names, phone numbers, how much down payment money they have, and you got, I mean, I'm just going to say how it is. You got a weak ass sales team and they take 4 hours to call these people. Yeah, you're not going to do as well. But if you, or you get a salesperson with the best intentions. I know they have the best intentions. I know, I get it. I've been there, I've done it for a very long time. Even the people with the best intentions, they get just bombarded, right? So with all these new leads. So if you were to get like, 10 new leads on a Monday, and they sit down and they get to work, and you're like, okay, we got to call the leads. And it's 9:45 and they start calling the leads. And they're like, well, no one answered. Okay, that's cool. Call them back. And then they wait till the next day at 9:45 when they roll in, sit down, have their 6 cigarette and a cup of coffee and 2 Red Bulls. And they go call at 9:45 again, and they get the same result. And they start saying the leads are awful. No, I think your process is awful. That's what's awful. You guys gotta switch it up. So on Monday, if it's 9:45 and you just got to work and you're calling a lead, they probably, hopefully, they just got to work too. So maybe you could do one of 2 things, or you should do both. You should call at 9:45, and as soon as they don't answer, don't leave a message, hang up the phone, pick it back up, and double dial. Pattern interrupt their day. Like, it right now, David, I know you're on mute and that's fine, but if somebody called you right now during this conference call, and they called you once and then they called you right back, you would probably say, I think it's important.
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah,
like, at least check it, at least like text back, like at least do something, right? Because the person that double dialed you like that pattern interrupted your day. It got your attention where it didn't as the first time they called. So the double dial works really well, but ultimately you got to change up the times of day that you're calling. The dealers that are very, very successful, meaning they sell 120, 110, 120 cars a month, they are so flippin' aggressive on the phone. If you guys want a demonstration of this, try reaching out to Grant Cardone's sales team for like a 10X event and see how many times they call you. It is wild. They're so aggressive. They're so successful. Now, I know from experience that you're going to have salespeople that are like, I just feel like I'm bothering them. I'm like, well, they had to take Uber today to get to work. I think that's what's bothering them. Like, you're a hero. You need to go call them back. And call in the morning, double dial if they don't answer, in the afternoon, and maybe they get off at 3 and you can catch them at 2:50 and be like, swing in after work. Oh, you get off at 4 or 5, just swing in after work. I'll stay late for you. No problem. We do that for a lot of people. I just did that last week. So you guys got to be thinking about how they're thinking. The other thing is, which leads me to personal versus professional. This is something I see all the time, and it legit drives me insane. Dealers, like if I reached out to Berlin Ridge Auto Sales or anybody else, a lot of times we've trained our staff to be overly professional. Like, hi, this is Anna Maria from Berlin Ridge Auto Sales, in a text message, mind you. I see that you reached out about getting a vehicle with us. You can go to our website and you can get pre-approved. Just send me this and do that. And these people are like, dude, I just want a car. Like, I'm not interested in going and filling out the app and sending you stips. What the hell are stips anyway? To a prospect, they don't know what the hell that means. But dealers are sending these types of text messages, and then they're wondering why nobody writes them back and they get ghosted. Well, first of all, you shouldn't have wrote the Bible in a text message, and maybe you should have just wrote, hey, exclamation mark. Got your message. Was that a car, truck, or SUV you need? Question mark. Like, that's so much easier, but we always, business, like us entrepreneurs, business owners, dealers, we all want to try to find the next shortcut and a way for AI to solve all of our problems, but we haven't remembered like that it's still sales is work. Leads are not laydowns. They have to be worked. People want human beings on the other end of the phone that actually, whether it's a call or whether it's a text message, that they feel like they're actually helping them. So if you send text messages that are sounding like a doctor's office or like homework and you're not seeing the greatest result, try simplifying them and making them sound like you know this person. Hey, exclamation mark, I see you're looking for a vehicle. I got your message that you're looking for a vehicle. Was that a car, truck, or SUV you need? Question mark. Try to always end your text messages with questions to just help increase the odds of engagement. And a lot of these text messages can be sent through the autoresponders in your CRM. But when you look at your CRM at all these autoresponders you have in place, I almost 99.9% guarantee you that they're way outdated and they're not hard to update. In fact, Tracy, I will send you a little like template that you guys could use and implement to give you some examples of some relatable, personable messages that you can send as of this afternoon. So the one thing that the last
Anna Maria?
thing, yes.
Hey, quick question. So
Yeah.
what do you see a better return on, a text message or a voice conversation? Obviously, we always want a voice conversation, but with this new generation, they never want to pick up the phone. But what do you see a better return on as far as getting a reply? Because, so many people get spam calls. What's the best practice there? Or is it a combination of both?
Yeah, we live in an either or world, and I'm like do this and do that. I mean, why not? I've found like as I was sitting in the dealership for 10 years as a dealer operator, I had the most success calling and texting. But if I had like calling and then texting to get them on the phone and build rapport that way. It's very hard to build rapport over a text message, but versus a phone. But I would call, and yeah, a lot of them wouldn't answer. Double dialing definitely is going to give you an increase of them answering. I promise you that. But if you can't get them on the phone, text and text personally, like we talked about, and then use the text to get them on the phone. You really want to make that phone call connection to get a greater result. Hope that kind of answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, I love, Stephen, how you just jumped in on that. That was perfect. If you guys want to jump in on this stuff, jump in on this stuff. Like, I've been talking for 40 minutes. Like, feel free. One thing that I just thought of. Go ahead.
Anna Marie, I'm a little different probably than the rest of them. You're talking to the salesman, owner, window washer when they get washed, detailer. But I did come out of a franchise store, and I spent a bunch of money, love him or hate him. I spent a bunch of money with Andy Elliott in sales training.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. All I know is I learned how to be aggressive. And what you're saying there, and one of the things my former GM was, he said, pet your customer. Phone, email, text. You do all three of those, move to the next one, you just keep rotating. And like you said, even here, I mean, my leads aren't, when you got 10 to 15 cars on lots, you're not going to get 100 leads. But even the leads I've got, like you said, rotate your times when you get a hold of. If 9 o'clock in the morning didn't work, try 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or just. But there's one thing about Facebook. I've done. I used to have a podcast and all that. We used to keep up with algorithms and all that other craziness that Facebook changes once every month or something of that nature. Is it still like if you post at this time, this is what they're looking for? Or am I making any sense there?
Yeah. So every platform is a little bit different. Obviously, if you think of the culture on LinkedIn, that's really not our demographic, right, for a CAC dealer. And if you think about the time that they're active, I'm just using this as an example. If you think of the time that LinkedIn users are active, it's typically in the morning, early afternoon. They're business people. So for Facebook, for Instagram, and TikTok, at this rate, if you're already posting 3 times a day, no, actually, take that back. You should be posting morning, afternoon, and evening if you can. So it's not really like, is 11 better than 10? Just get posting. Just start posting. And from the data that you gather, because Facebook will tell you, like, say you do it for 30 months, 3 times a day, Facebook will tell you in the back end when your users were most active or when your content hit best. But I can't really say for certain, because not because I don't necessarily have an opinion, but because dealers get so consumed in, is 11 better than 1, but you're not doing anything right now. Not you, I'm just saying in general. So post 3 times a day for a month and let the data tell you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're stepping on some toes. I feel like I'm in a Southern Baptist church right now, honestly.
You feel like what?
I said I feel like I'm in a Southern Baptist church right now. I just got my toes stepped on, because what you're saying is what I've been doing. All we do, all I do is I don't put, like on the business page, is I put my cars up there. We sell one, we put it up there. The stuff I did when I was at the franchise store. Now, I would go out and do goofy videos from every once in a while. I've been, I'm waiting to get that one trade that I can put Tannerite in and blow it up, on Facebook. That's going to be me. But what you said, the 3 times a day, it's amazing that, me and my wife both, we'll put stuff up on there. There was one day there I put 5 things up on it. And I told her, let's just see if this works. And out of those 5, 2 of them hit.
Very good. Very good. Oh, that actually brings up a really good point that you just said. Like, people are like, well, what if I put something up and I don't get 55 likes? No, that's not the point. Not saying that was the point you were trying to make, but just made me.
No, it's kind of discouraging. I ain't gonna lie, because there's sometimes you're like, man, I got a badass piece here and nothing. Ghost. Just
right. But you got to remember, it's exposure. Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, like, we're not in 9th grade anymore. We all have that part of us, right, as human beings. Like, we want to get that dopamine hit that we got, 36 likes in 6 minutes, or we got 42 comments the first day we posted it. Like, guys, we're not in 6th grade, right? But I get it. Like, of course, it's a good feeling to get that, but really what's going on is that, like you and your wife, you posted 5 times and 2 of them, you got a little traction off 2 of them. But at the end of the day, it's about the exposure. You were exposing your dealership. You had 5 at-bats that day. That's what it is. It's exposure, and that's great. That's awesome. Some dealers that are on this call and some dealers across the country right now aren't even posting 5 times a month, 5 times a week. So, and it's hard to keep up with that. And we certainly can help you guys out. Anybody listening, we can certainly help you out with free info, paid info, whatever you want to do. But just get posting. So.
Hey, Anna Maria, I don't know if you saw the little chat over here. Angel asked about
Oh, no, I didn't see.
marketplace posts. You got any insight there?
Oh, yeah. So we didn't even talk about Marketplace. So Marketplace, dealers, Facebook Meta said, I think it's been way over a year now, that Marketplace is a private party platform. So they don't want any dealers on there, no commercial companies. They want private party only. And dealers, I know dealers that are still posting on there today and haven't had any issues whatsoever, except that they find that the leads, they keep writing, is it available? Is it available? And nothing ever happens, or they have stupid expectations. And then I have some dealers that tell me that they're still posting on Marketplace and it's going amazing. I do have several dealers, and I've heard of many dealers that have been posting on Marketplace all along, and their accounts, they go to log in and their accounts are banned. I have a video about this. I have screenshots of this. They go on there and they're like, I can't log in. I've been posting on Marketplace for like the last 6 months and there was no problem, and now I can't even log in. Or I can log in, but the Marketplace icon isn't there anymore. Well, yeah, when you violate the terms of Meta, eventually it'll catch up to you. I mean, hopefully it doesn't. You want to be really careful, because if you did lose your account, Angel, or another dealer listening to this, sometimes you can get it right back and they'll reinstate it. It's not that big of a deal. But there have been many cases I've heard of, and I've taken screenshots of and made a video about it, where they didn't just lose Marketplace and they didn't just lose their account, they lost their business page. And that's really awful to lose. If you have 3,000 followers or 14,000 followers, to lose your business page in that mix really stinks. So the alternative is,
got a quick question for you there, because so I'm in with Dealer Center just like Tracy is, and we get them phone calls. I think me and Tracy talked about this a few weeks ago, about there's a company out there that, will post on Facebook for you and this, that, and the other. What's that all about? Because
so this is the deal, right? So I would like to think of myself as one that always talks fairly highly of every company. I have never had I know the types of companies you're talking about. I have never had direct experience with those companies, but what dealers that have come to us have told us, well, let's put it this way: if it was working so well, they wouldn't be calling us. That's number one. Number two, I just am a big believer in, don't go against the terms of the platform that you're on, and you won't really have a problem. So really, Marketplace is kind of like Craigslist in a way now. And it seems kind of obvious. Facebook's a business, right? They're a business. They're like the DMV. We're constantly at their mercy. And if you're at somebody's mercy, are you going to intentionally tick them off and potentially get banned? Like, that was kind of stupid, right? So the workaround, and also it's a way, that was my point, I forgot. Facebook is a business. If they can keep Marketplace for private party, and they can tell commercial companies and businesses, hey, you want to be seen? Pay for our paid ads program. Like, that kind of makes sense. But when you violate it, you're going to get a slap on the wrist maybe once or twice, and then they'll take your account away. So I can only do what's in compliance. Personally, for my business, and then for all the dealers that we represent, I can only do what's in compliance. Now, with all that being said, the workaround for that is this. When you run paid ads with Facebook, one of the placements that you can select in the list, like, where do you want your ad to show up? Do you want it to be in Reels, Stories, Marketplace? You can check Marketplace, and it will show up still in Marketplace, but in compliance. So that's that. Does that help you? He's probably muted.
Anna Maria, so
Yeah.
I'm Angel. And so my basic thought was, when you post an individual car to Facebook Marketplace or small independent, then it'll ask you if you want to boost this post to get in front of so many more people. So I was wondering, is that something you recommend? Is there a process to it that you recommend? That was more my question.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, I missed that part. Yeah. I mean, boosting it. Boosting is fine. Boosting is I mean, if you had the choice to run paid ads versus boosting, I would definitely. It's like DIY. You know what it's like? It's like if you go into like the Michael's craft store and you walk in and say, "I want to paint a picture on a canvas," and they're like, "Okay, aisle 7, you can get all custom colored paints. You can pick your brushes." Or you can go to aisle 2 and they've got like a kit, like it comes with a canvas, 3 paints, and a standard stock paintbrush. Well, that's the same thing with Facebook. That's how I look at it. When you boost, it's like DIY. When you run paid ads inside the back end of the ads manager, you're able to dictate and you have so much more functionality about who sees them, how your money is being spent, the reporting. That's way better. So there's differences. It is more complicated on the back end, but if you can't do anything, you don't have the time or the energy or whatever. Boosting is better than nothing. Absolutely.
And is there like a YouTube university that you would recommend for learning how to understand the complexity of Facebook ads?
So I mean, there's many videos, and there's many companies that offer, kind of crash courses. We're in a very specific niche because when you think automotive and how to run automotive advertising, independent dealers, buy here, pay here dealers, their niche is so different than big box. So, I mean, I can certainly help you out, but generally speaking, if you were to go on Google, you know where I'd go? I'd go on Facebook into their ad library and type in buy here, pay here, or something of that nature, or used cars, or all credit accepted cars, or even try to type in the search term CAC dealer and see what ads pop up. Because then at least you're going to get something specific and not a strategy or a concept that's really meant for the Kia store. Because that's a totally different customer.
Hey, quick question.
Uh-huh.
When we're doing the paid ads, should we let the AI system select the audience for us, or should we be selecting a specific audience?
Yeah, I would definitely select your own audience, especially to start. They do a pretty good job, though, I will say. However, so I think if you're running ads, you may already know this, and if you don't, you're going to learn it now. When you're running paid ads on Facebook, you have to go, because you're lending money. You're confined to a certain category of credit because you're lending, and you can't like say I only want my ads to go to males that are 32 to 38. So they take all that away when you run ads in that category. As far as targeting, it's really based off of that location. In my experience, I believe, and for our dealers now, especially for the buy here, pay here ones, we want them to stay in a very close radius because of risk to go to repo later on down the road. In your case, you can go out mileage wise a lot further than a buy here, pay here dealer would. But I would stick fairly close to home to start. And then I would let AI work its magic on the targeting. After you've got a great ad running that's performing decently well, then run another one alongside of it with their AI for targeting and see which one does better.
Compare.
But definitely, I want to have complete control of my advertising. If I was first getting started, I want control of my money. I want control of my. I don't want them to put on all their stupid music. I don't know if people realize this, but when you go to run an ad, if you don't look very carefully, they're slapping music on your ad. They're slapping on text variations. So, like you put in the headline, And then they'll be like, hey, AI thinks you should do this, this, and this too. And if you don't uncheck it, your ad's going to run in these different ad texts. And sometimes not only does it sound super stupid, but it could put you in like a compliance risk too. So I can't remember exactly what your question was, but hopefully we answered it. And if we did, let me know what it was.
Targeting. It was targeting.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I would. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I would keep all control of your targeting, especially at first. Are you running ads right now on the regular?
Not enough.
Okay.
That's all of us, right?
Yeah, keep it close to home and keep it in control, and then experiment with the AI. Yeah.
Roger that.
One thing too to really think about when, and we can go back to the questions in a minute, but one thing I do not want to forget this is that when you're working with your leads, your team's working with the leads, or you're working on the leads yourself, the handling is just so important. Like, so we talked about some of the word tracks a little bit, but I would really, really, really take a moment to maybe mystery shop your own store, or we can mystery shop it for you, or another dealer can mystery shop it for you. Whatever, just do it. And get a listen to what's being said. I won't say who it was, but 2 weeks ago, not even, we mystery shopped a new dealer client. And on that call, we asked the same types of questions that a potential customer would ask. And we started the call. In fact, I might post it. It's really I'll blank out who it was and whatever. But it was really helpful because when I got on the call and I conducted the mystery shop, I said things like, I have bad credit. Do you guys check credit? And I kind of try to sound like the customer a little bit. And then also I asked, like, how do your down payments work? I've got $1,600 or $1,800. Is that going to get me a car? And they launched into this whole speech about how it's 10% of the sale price rounded to the nearest thousand. And I was like, this is so complicated. Like, this is insanely complicated. So mystery shop your own dealership and find out what's being said. And if you had to say anything about down payments, instead of trying to get people to do math, I mean, we are like not the greatest at math. And then somehow we expect our potential customers to be able to navigate 10%, rounded to the nearest thousand. Like, that's why people at restaurants put their suggested tip and what the dollar amount is because people can't do math. So when you're talking to your leads, make sure that you're or when you're thinking about lead handling, mystery shop your own store. I'll do it, another dealer could do it, and make sure you hear what's being said, because there's a lot of nonsense and we want common sense and to the point type language. The other thing that I hear a lot is no one gets anybody's name and number anymore. If it's an inbound call, they just hop off the phone. Like, for instance, your sales team might say, they might hear from the prospect, oh, okay, well, I'll look around some more on your site and get back to you. And your salesperson is like, okay, cool, sounds good. Or we look forward to helping you. And then they get off the phone and they never got their name. They never got their number. Like, unless you're using caller ID, how the hell were you going to, like, text them? Like, the best way for your team, if they feel nervous or they don't know how to get someone's name and number at the end of a phone call, first of all, it's sales 101. If you can't get a name, if you can't get a number, you're out. That's how I'd feel about it. But if you want to work with them, I get it. This is a way to work with them. You could tell them the best way to get somebody's name and number is at the end of the call, say this. Hey, I'm going to make this super easy for you. Give me your phone number real quick. I'm just going to text you the website. That way you can just see all the cars. And if you want to fill out an app, cool, but at least you can see all of our inventory right then and there because we update it at midnight every night. That's a way, like, you gave something and now you can expect to get something. Now, if they're already on your website and that's why they called, that technique is not going to work. But you could say something like, hey, I know you're at work right now and you're on our website and I know you're busy, so am I, but here's what I'm going to do. Just let me jot down your phone number real quick. And if you've got about $1,500, I'm going to give you some options that might fit your budget based on what you told me. And I'll kind of narrow the search down for you. Well, you're at work. I'm working hard for you. Now, are they going to be like, yeah, no, thanks? No, they're going to be like, here's my number. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So number one on that topic is always get the name and number. If you don't, you're out. If you don't want to do it that way, cool. But you could give them these techniques to try to get a name and a number. Every single phone call should end with getting a name and a number. But there are so many times where I'd say over 95% of mystery shops that we do, the salespeople on the other end of the call, they just let it go. Or so that's the point. Sorry about that. Just remember, it's about objections. Train your team on objections. If someone says, even if it's not on the phone and it's on the lot, and they show up and they're like, yeah, I'm just looking, and they walk, and then your salesperson just walks away. Well, that's not good salesmanship. Like ask them give them a minute, then ask them what they're looking for. Same thing on the phone. Like, oh, okay, I'll just browse around your website and I'll call you back if I find something I like. Well, what do you like? How about we start there? Is it, you want to be super budget friendly? Do you need a car, truck, or SUV? Find out. Or if somebody says, even if it's all the way down to you're at the desk, objections are so important. And they say something like, yeah, I'm gonna wait a couple of days, or I'm gonna wait till my next paycheck, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. Find out from them. Is it if it's money, it's either the down payment or the payment. Find out where's the problem, and don't just give up so easy, especially when you've just spent $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 on Facebook ads, and then your team can't even get their phone number. But be an example. Let them see you doing it, and they will follow suit, hopefully. But train on objections. I heard this once, and I was like, this resonated so much with me. They're like, athletes train, but salespeople don't train. I'm like, yeah, we don't train. Why don't we train? Like, we got to be bulletproof, but how are we supposed to get there if we don't work on it? So, food for thought on that. Definitely train.
Real quick, that WhatsApp group that Rachel does, she sends out like 2 or 3 videos every morning, and there is some great stuff in there about
cool. Okay.
There's some good videos in there that she throws in that are.
I'm curious to see what's in the I've heard good feedback.
Yeah, I'll try to get you added to that. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out.
If it's only a dealer thing, like, I respect that. So, but hopefully today, we can take a couple of questions over the next 5 or 10 minutes. It's about what I've got here, but we can take some questions. But the number one thing is I really hope that I was able to give you guys some tactics, techniques, things, ideas, inspiration that you can go take action on as of today. You didn't need to be like rocket scientists. You didn't need to go pay a bunch of money to a marketing company. Obviously, if you want to cut the check for speed and you just don't have the time, effort, energy, or desire, of course I can help you. I can also give you a lot of free help too. But I really, really, really hope that you got, 10 years as a dealer operator, there were so many times where I wish I had some free ideas and like things I could take action on. So hopefully you got that. There is a website though, for real this time. It's digitalattentiononline.com/free ideas. And there's a bunch of videos on there that can give you help on marketing primarily, but also lead handling, what to post, word tracks, ad text. That could help you out too. So, Tracy, you want to take it back?
No, I just want to say thank you. I'm tentative to do stuff like this a lot of times because a lot of folks in your position will take this whole hour as just a commercial for who you work for. But no, I really appreciate you. So, I mean, if you want to take the next 5 minutes and talk about who you do work for and what you do, but I appreciate you giving so much free stuff and giving you time.
On that, you guys can find me anywhere on the internet. Stephen, go ahead.
Question. Can you repeat the digitalattention.com /
Yeah, digitalattentiononline.com / free ideas.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. And some of that stuff you may feel like applies more to a specific buy here, pay here dealer, but at the end of the day, the audience, the demographic from independent CAC to buy here, pay here is very similar. So that'll definitely give you some help, and it'll show you some examples too. Some of the stuff that we talked about today is on there, and it'll show you actual examples. So there's that. Any questions that take a question or two here? Anything about lead handling, Facebook ads? And if not, I guess I nailed it today.
You killed it.
No question.
Well,
Or I overloaded you guys, and you're like, just your mind stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, so we could just go about our day.
well, I think you bring up a good point about the role playing that athletes train. When I was a district manager for AutoZone, we used to role play all the time with our store managers. And that's absolutely something that we don't do enough in the industry. Either we don't have the time, but we need to make the time in order to make our guys as good as we think they can be.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard that, it really got me. I was like, that is so true. Like, why didn't I think of that? And then I thought to myself, like, I kind of felt bad because I expect and expect and expect, and maybe like, how did I have the right to expect if I never even taught them how to say it right? You know?
That's how I excelled at the. It wasn't because of me. I mean, listen to me talk, you automatically deduct 400 IQ points. But a lot of the reason I kicked the other salesman's ass is because of a bunch of old guys that had been doing the same thing over and over again. And my GM wasn't exactly on board because his favorite thing, those that can't do. And he was like, "How much money you spend in a year?" I said, "Probably $5,000-6,000 a year in training." But you got to look at return on investment. And Stephen, I used to be a store manager for AutoZone for 10 years.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
We did that role playing, and we never did role playing in the dealership, which was crazy to me. I mean, you'd have them any other certain words in my ass chewing meetings on Saturday morning, but over here, honestly, having my own thing, I miss the sales part of it. Like with us, and I don't know, Stephen, Tracy, if you guys are like it, it's more in our line of work. It's more get me done. Can you get me in? What can you get me this vehicle for? There's no down in the trenches getting dirty, like it used to be. That's where I had fun at. I made it fun. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I get where you're coming from, very much so. And what I found was, because doing training and drilling objections and just training in general is sometimes like people feel like they're getting put on the spot and all this stuff. I would do a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time. I didn't like have it set for like a Saturday morning meeting. I mean, we had a morning meeting every week, but normally when it came to objections, I would go outside and everyone would smoke cigarettes and drink their coffee and we'd role play then, and make it a little bit more comfortable. And, we would do it in all kinds of ways. Like, you turn your back to me, I'll turn my back to you, and I'm going to call you, ring, ring, you answer. But then also like training where, okay, I'm the customer and I'm going to approach the vehicle and you're the salesman coming up and outside the building to say hello to me. Like, these are such fundamentals that we don't even think of. And sometimes it's very difficult when you have men and women primarily men that have been in this field for like 1,000,005 years, and they don't want to make any kind of difference. They don't want to get on the internet and they don't want to change their word tracks, but the world is changing. So we have to adapt a little bit, but training is so important. And when I heard that quote, I was like, I need to do better. So, but there may be some things that you think of after this call today and that you just want to run by somebody just to get some advice or get some insight on what other dealers are doing. If you guys aren't part of I started a Buy Here, Pay Here marketing group. I know you guys aren't Buy Here, Pay Here necessarily, but there's some great info in that group. Just type in Buy Here, Pay Here marketing under Facebook groups. It's the red, white, and blue, all patriotic branding. You guys can hop in there. There's some great groups on Facebook. Many of the dealers in these big groups we already represent. But these groups are so helpful and you can bounce so much info off of another dealer. And as a dealer operator myself, now I have that vantage point of seeing so many dealers that we're working with and what's going strong for them and what's not and what separates them. So if you have things that are that come to your mind, like definitely reach out. I never ever, in these industries, you always have vendors and individuals that jump up and down and raise their hand like, I'll always give out, I'll always be there. And then you reach in your back pocket and it's like not during business hours. And it's, like I talk to dealers at 11 o'clock at night. And sometimes those are the only times that a dealer or a business owner or an entrepreneur can get anything done, because during the day they're buying, they're bidding, they're trying to make sure the lot's turning, they're trying to walk the front line, they're trying to pick up cars, they're trying to repo cars. Like, it's a lot in one day. And sometimes you're like, I really wanted to get to my marketing, but everything else got in the way. So if you need to reach out to somebody just for free guidance, or if you want to do some paid stuff together, that's cool too. But don't hesitate to reach out. So I'm going to leave you. I'm going to let Tracy, if he's comfortable, give you my contact information. But I am on Facebook. But you guys are more than welcome. I don't want to like solicit, so let him give out the phone number after or during or whenever. But don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm here for you. I have a big team now, and maybe one day I'll be in a position where I can't take every call and answer every text. But for now, I'm doing it. So take advantage of it.
All right, cool. I'm going to try to wrap it up.
All right.
We're a little over an hour. Thank you again, Anna Maria. I'll try and tag her. I'll finish this recording. I'll post it on that CAC page, and I'll try to tag Anna Maria. So if you need to get in touch with her later, you can message her there. But if anybody's got anything else, now's the time to speak. If not, I'll sign us off.
I'm good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Stephen,
Thank
Dave,
you, Amber.
the rest of you guys, I'll chat with you soon. Have a good day.